Folk, I hope your days are getting better from a clarity point of view and looking at your near to medium term future. I want to ask you a big question today, and that's, do you know the will of God for your life? Many don't. Being in the will of God will cause you to be fruitful, fulfilled, have purpose, and utilize your gift mix in life. We're fruitful and being productive when we live out of our devotion for Jesus and never out of duty. We're fulfilled because we're doing the will of God that God's called us to, which brings with it an incredible sense of satisfaction. And instead of burying our gifts, we'll be utilizing the talents that God gives us. Purpose gives us a rudder in life. I love what Jesus said at the age of 33 in John 17 verse 4. He said, "I've finished the work that you gave me," speaking to his Father. At the age of 70, Paul the Apostle declared, "I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, and I've kept the faith." 2 Timothy 4 verse 7. So he fought the good fight. He saw it as a worthwhile investment. Paul invested his time where he received the greatest return, never wasted his time on harboring a grudge, an offense, being competitive. He always focused on the ministry at hand. He finished the race, he says. Paul knew that the good work God starts in us, he will complete. That was a case of him never just spinning his wheels. He finished what he started. And he fought the good fight of faith. Paul understood the importance of staying on message, preaching nothing that would just tickle people's ears, but preaching the gospel in power with signs following. You can only make the statements of Paul when you're absolutely certain of the will of God and purpose for your life. In this hour, I believe we need to know what the will of God is for our lives. Otherwise, we spend a lot of precious time on futile and empty pursuits. David said to Abimelech in 1 Samuel 21:8, he said this, he said this in part, "The king's business requires haste." I love that. I don't know what his will is for your life. If you say to me, "I don't know what the will of God is for my life," then simply ask him. James 1 verse 5 says, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives us all generously and without reproach." We don't know because we don't ask. Jesus said, "I've finished the work that you've given me." Wouldn't that be a great bookend to the end of your life, knowing that you've done what God's called you to do? Steward your life in such a way that you make a difference. I love what David says in Psalm 40 verse 8. He says, "I delight to do your will, O Lord. Your law is within my heart. Let not your heart be troubled."